Coming up in today's video, guys, we've got some big earwax plugs to start with, and we finish with a lovely, really satisfying skin ribbon as well. My name is Rhys Barber. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates. And what you can see here is this patient's come through, they're feeling really blocked up on this particular ear canal. We've got a very sticky, big plug of wax here. So the first thing I'm having to do is just unstick this from the canal wall. So we're using the standard size Zollner tube here just to lift this off the canal wall. There you go. You can see it's starting to move. There's quite a bit tucked to this left-hand side. So just as we go into the ear canal, there's quite a little bit stuck there, which we need to remove. Now, I didn't spot that at first because we were trying to pull this plug away, but I could see that something was attaching it on the left-hand side. We've put a bit of olive oil in just to help it move across the canal. So what difference does the olive oil make? Well, the olive oil makes a massive difference. It sits on the surface of the canal and the surface of the wax as well. And as we get a grip with it with the suction, we'll start to see it just sliding across the canal wall. That's that really sticky piece I was saying that was stuck just on the left-hand side that we couldn't quite see when we started. But this is coming away really, really nicely. There we go. Oh, almost. Let's go back in and just shift to position so you can see this coming out. There we go, out that comes. Nice big chunky old plug, a couple of hairs in there as well. Just taking this little bit of wax off the outside edge here, all the way to the end. Oh, they're a little bit further in, so we're going to grab that bit. Now, what I'm not going to do here is peel from the front. I'm going to lift from the back because we have that nice lifted section at the back. We can just lift it up and peel the whole thing forwards. Lovely looking eardrum there though. So we've got 1.5 centimeters, just over ½ an inch. If you like big earwax plugs, make sure you check out this video if you're watching it on YouTube. There's a lovely big earwax removal for you on that one there as well. Really short one coming up next. This is kind of a blink and you miss it one. This is a lovely one to do. Very dry canal, very dry piece of wax, but a big chunky plug as well. So we've got the standard size on the tube in here. Let's lift this off. There we go, just wiggling this across the canal. Little bit of movement there and the whole thing came away so easily. Make sure you check out the size of this plug at the end. It looks quite deceiving from that angle, but it was set sort of backwards slightly. I couldn't quite twist it to get it flat for you. But eardrum looking lovely. Look at the size of that. We got just under 2 centimeters, about bang on 3/4 of an inch. Same thing, guys. If you do enjoy the big plugs, check out this video. It's another one I recommend for you to watch as well, with some more big earwax plugs in there for you as well. So, this patient, the backstory for this, you can see everything looks really, really wet and mushy in here. And basically what's been happening with this particular patient is they were having a bath and suddenly their hearing was absolutely fine before the bath, and then suddenly their hearing just went just after the bath. And that's quite normal for a lot of people if they have a big wax plug in their ear canal. What can happen is the water can soften the edges of the plug and it can move backwards into the ear. Water's brilliant at breaking wax down, which is why irrigation was so popular for so many years as well. And what you can see now, we've got a grip on it. It's very sludgy though at the back end, and that's because the water from the bath water had got behind the plug as well. So what you ended up with is behind that plug, the water sitting there and just softening and really kind of turning that back end of the plug to mush. So there we go, that's coming away really well. Patient hearing a lot better already. There we go, we're just going to lift this from the side here. Oh, nearly, just get that last little bit up, there we go. I'm just going to take these sort of mushy pieces from the one side away here. Got to be really careful down here. We don't need to be rough here at all. You've got to be really, really gentle just because of the eardrum. You can see it looks a little bit irritated already. See all the blood vessels coming down the hammer bone and going off to the side there. So just over 1 centimeter, ½ an inch worth of earwax as well. I'll pop another video up here, guys, just so you can have a little look. The reason I do this thing, I pop the video up here for you to take a look at, is sometimes, you know, if you really like this one particular section, you'll probably like the video I'm going to put up on the top. I kind of curate them to find ones I think you're going to find interesting, or certainly ones I found interesting based on what you've just watched. So it's worth having a little check out of those. So last patient in this compilation, now this was a lovely chap. I started taking this away and I thought, oh, that almost felt a bit like a skin ribbon. Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for this bit. I think it's this bit. Watch as we pull this now. There we go. See how we're just starting to get a little bit of a tail attached? But when we get to one section, you can see the whole thing start to, there we go. Look at this. Look at that. So much skin. My favourite ones are the skin ribbons. As I was pulling this out, the skin was just so soft. A lot of it was just kind of imploding into the suction tube here, but really coming away nicely. You can see how we're drawing this, and it's just pulling the next section, which is really handy because this patient has quite a narrow entrance to the ear canal here. Another ribbon part there. There we go. You can see these long stretches. If you don't know what I mean by a skin ribbon, this is the first video you've actually watched of ours, skin ribbons that I refer to is basically that the skin grows the whole length of the ear canal as like a conveyor belt mechanism. And when it does that, sometimes you'll get that surface layer will be hardening, and then it dehydrates, which means there's the higher concentration of keratin in there, so it becomes more concentrated. It hardens that skin layer up, and then it can form these really, really long ribbons. Imagine peeling that skin all the way down. If you ever had that glue on your hands when you were kids and you kind of peeled it off, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So that's what I mean by a skin ribbon. And I have got a doozy of a video for you for that one as well. I have got an absolutely massive skin ribbon for you, which is in our back catalogue, which I will pop up there at the end, okay? So we're just taking this away. You can see how that skin forms. Look how it peels down the canal. You know, I said about that glue peeling off. It's that kind of peel that you're getting here. Awkward here because I've got this really, really deep section of wax, and then you've got this thin layer of skin in front there, so the skin is flicking up, as you just saw there, in front of the suction every time I try and get to that piece of wax beyond it. Now you can get Zollner tubes with what they call control holes in them, so suction control holes. So basically they have a little hole in the handle. When it fingers off the hole, the suction just pulls air through the hole, so it reduces the suction through the Zollner tube, and when you pop your finger on the top, it sort of pops it back up. They are really, I personally find them really, really fiddly to use. It's probably because I have a sort of slightly odd technique when I use the suction tube, when I use any tubes actually. You're supposed to use your suction tubes, so you've got your endoscope and you're supposed to use a tube like this, which I find just really, I feel really constricted here, so I feel really, really awkward. So I tend to use like a pen grip, and I bring the suction tube up here. So I find that a lot easier to use, and it's something I've always done just because that's the way we're taught to use oroscopes and things like that. So for me, it just feels like a far more natural angle. It's not the angle you're supposed to use them in, but it's the angle I find works well for me. And I don't think I do too badly, to be honest, with that angle. But yeah, so those suction control holes, just because the way I hold it means it's a little bit more difficult for me to control that suction on those control holes as well. So we managed to get that piece of wax that you can see. We've got this long strip of skin again. There we go, just lifting. You can see I'm trying to peel this skin, trying to hold on to it. There we go. So that just jumped into the suction tube. It was a kind of blink and you'll miss it moment, that one. And then we just got this very, very thin. Oh, I remember this bit. This is a really good bit. It doesn't look like there's a lot down there, but you can see me starting to lift this. Look at this coming away. Look at that for a chunk in the anterior recess. Really, really deep section. Oh, guys, I forgot to say, if you do enjoy the videos, like, heart, share, follow, subscribe for me. That would be fantastic. You have ear problems, check out the link tree in the description, and you can book yourself an appointment with myself. I'd love to do Mr. Taylor Green. Look at this site. I almost ran out of ruler at the top there. Look, we got 2 and, oh gosh, I missed that then. 2 3/4 inches, 7 centimeters worth of wax. Oh, that massive skin ribbon I told you about, I'm going to pop that up here for you to have a look at as well. Make sure you check that one out. That is an awesome one. It's one of our oldest ones, so it skews my very monotonous voice as I go through it. But it's a really good one to watch, so make sure you check that one out for me as well, guys. But guys, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. Fingers crossed, me and the lovely Mr. Taylor Green will be back together soon. I think probably next week now, I would imagine. But yeah, I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.